Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Chasing Rabbits. My name is Scott Brown, and you found my vlog dedicated to helping you become the leader that you always wished that you had worked for. On most nights, I spend this time talking about leadership theory, giving you some practical advice on how to become a better leader, a better manager, staying away from that dreaded boss word. But tonight, we're going to do something just slightly different. Is tonight, instead of talking about a leadership concept, I think tonight's a good night to talk about an opportunity and what you do when you're thrown a curveball and all of a sudden there's an obstacle. Do you look at it as something to overcome, or do you look at it as an opportunity to shift courses? I think this past year taught us a lot about how to shift, and I hate that word pivot, so I'm not going to use that word. But I think it's a good opportunity to change an obstacle into an opportunity. So now that my wife's gotten promoted and we are going to be here in Fort Wayne for years, this is going to be a long-term thing here. There's something about living in Fort Wayne that for what I'm trying to do with my career makes it a little bit tough. I'm trying to become a professional speaker, a paid speaker that goes out and speaks at conferences and conventions and corporations and all those sorts of things. There's not a lot of those in greater Fort Wayne. So there's going to be some travel involved. However, I've realized there's also a huge opportunity right now that I'm going to take advantage of. So let's back up 1 year. Just before the pandemic shut everything down last year, I was starting to gear up for the first of what I hoped was going to be a number of live shows that I was going to produce here in Fort Wayne. One of the shows is called Captivate Fort Wayne. Yes, Captivate Fort Wayne. You can find the page on Facebook, Captivate Fort Wayne. And the goal of it is really simple. The whole premise is very simple. There is no TED Talk here in Fort Wayne, and to get a TED Talk license isn't really cheap. There's also no Ignite here in Fort Wayne. There's no DisruptHR here in Fort Wayne. And when I checked with DisruptHR last year to try to get a license to do Disrupt Fort Wayne, it's crazy expensive for no apparent reason. However, none of them have locked up the market on providing an opportunity to connect with an audience and give an audience something of value from listening to speakers share their stories. So here's what Captivate Fort Wayne is going to be. Captivate Fort Wayne is going to happen, I would say, late spring, early summer. It is going to be a collection of at least 4 TED-like talks, meaning inspirational, motivational type talks that are geared around explaining the world and what we've learned from our journey through the world to the masses to help the masses have a little bit of a better life. And then there will also be a series of at least 6 Ignite-like talks, or PechaKucha-like talks, or Disrupt-like talks. Meaning that for at least six of the talks are going to be slides auto-advancing and the speaker having 15 seconds per slide on that auto-advancing to tell a story. Meaning of about 5 minutes, 20 slides, 15 seconds per slide, 300 seconds or 5 minutes to be able to tell your story, tell any story to help entertain and to enlighten an audience, to articulate, to fascinate an audience. Now, why am I announcing this now? What changed? I don't know if you've been into Zoom, if you've looked at some of the new options in the new Zoom update, but if you go into the share a screen option and then to the advanced option on the top, all of a sudden now you can use a PowerPoint as a background. Yes, you can make your PowerPoint, only PowerPoint, it doesn't work right now with Prezi, it doesn't work with Keynote, it only works with PowerPoint, but you can turn your PowerPoint into your background, meaning that you can stand and deliver a talk from in front of a PowerPoint to illuminate or to accentuate your message. It's not much different than what it used to be when we were on stage. It's a very similar premise to how we can do that. I'm going to use that premise, use that new technology that we have to deliver something to Fort Wayne, starting via the internet, because that's the only place we can really meet right now, to help give a little more life to both the speaker community here in Fort Wayne, to speakers throughout the Midwest here, and also to all of those that are connected through the greater Fort Wayne area, and really anywhere, because it's going to be an internet-based event, late spring, early summer, May or June is my goal, to help get a message out that we can reinvent ourselves. We can do something better. We don't have to be stuck within where we are. We can look at this opportunity, look at this obstacle as an opportunity. So Captivate Fort Wayne is coming live to a computer screen near you in the next few months. I am going to be getting in touch with some local publications here in Fort Wayne to advertise it, see what the timeline looks like to be able to win and get those messages out, and then be able to get replies back to be able to put a show on. But look for Captivate Fort Wayne coming to a screen near you in the very near future. The goal with this is to be able to draw in an audience so that once we can go back and we can again meet at Welch's Ale House, which has a phenomenal setup for speakers in their back room. They have a whole concert area that they use for live music. They use for speeches like what we do. They use for comedians. They do for all kinds of live performances. It's a fantastic setup. Before we can go back to Welch's, we're going to do this on the internet. So look through Eventbrite is going to be where we're going to publicize it. And look, May, June, somewhere around that, to have an opportunity to come speak or to come listen. I'm looking forward to it. The first ones are going to be free. The first couple here that we're going to do online are going to be free as we try to build an audience and a crowd, see what happens with this. But I think that it's something that the city of Fort Wayne could really use, an opportunity to get together, to learn, to share, and to grow. So until tomorrow, I bid you adieu. I wish you a wonderful night. Stay healthy, stay alive, stay vibrant, and above all, toast on, my friends. Toast on, and I will see you tomorrow for another edition of Chasing Rabbits.